So once you're in your comfortable seated position, just begin to turn your awareness to the breath. Noticing that sensation of breath as it finds and leaves the body, the tips of the nostrils. You can have your eyes open or closed. Big full breaths. As you inhale, allow the lungs to fill, the abdomen to expand. As you exhale, allow navel center to soften toward the spine, lungs empty. Continue to follow the feeling, the sensation of the path of the breath. Notice if there are any areas where it sticks or catches. And begin to smooth these spaces. Use the breath itself as if it were a fine sandpaper, softening those rough spots. Allowing that clear path of air from the tips of the nostrils to that expansion of the abdomen on your inhalation and back out. Begin to get some gentle movement into the neck. Allow the right ear to drop towards your right shoulder. Chin rolls toward the chest. Left ear over toward the left shoulder, chin to the sky. As you do this, start to notice if there are distracting thoughts that are consuming or filling your space, that are taking your awareness and attention off of your mat. And if so, with your inhalations, begin to gather those up. With your exhalations, begin to send them off into a storage space. Any mental storage space that you would like, and maybe you send them off into distance, away from you. The next time your chin is at your chest, we'll pause and just reverse the direction of your circles, taking your time. The goal is to find the spaces that need a little attention, a little opening, a little stretch. Not to move the head as quickly as possible. One more full rotation, gathering up all of the last of those distractions with your inhale, setting them aside into your storage space with the exhale. Seal it off. And come back to your neutral seated position. Let's take a moment to think about the intention or dedication that we'd like to set for our practice today. It can be a single word or a phrase. With your next inhalation, as we begin to repeat that intention to ourselves, let's bring fingertips to the shoulders, elbows to the sky. Exhale, arms come down. 2 more times like that. Inhale, up and up. Exhale, down and down. Last one here. Bring the fingertips to the shoulders and then start making circles in the air with the elbows. Some rotational movement through those shoulders. One more breath here, however many rotations that is. And the next time those elbows are in, let's go up, out, and down. Or if you started that way, just reverse the direction of your circles. Take about 3 more breaths in this direction. Maybe it's 1 rotation per breath, maybe it's 2 or more. Last full breath right here. And allow the fingertips to float to the ground. We'll bring the fingertips up toward the sky. Big circles with the arms. Extend, pulling the fingertips away as you soften the shoulders away from the ears. Keeping the torso still. as you reach those fingers around. One more round here. Fingertips float down to the ground. Let's bring the left hand up and over as the right hand remains at the ground. Inhale, come up. Exhale, left hand comes down. Right arm across. Nice side stretch. Getting some movement into those muscles this morning. Inhale up. As you exhale, let's fold forward. Sit bones remain at the ground. Inhale, slowly roll up. Fingertips come to the sky, and with an exhalation, we bring the hands to the ground behind us. Tops of the fists with the palms at the ground, pressing the chest toward the sky. Gaze comes up. One more breath here. Inhale, find your way up to your seat. If you have your legs crossed, switch the cross of the legs. If you have one leg extended, one bent, let's switch that. Inhale, fingertips to the sky. Exhale to your right. Noticing how it's different with that change in the positioning of the legs. Inhale up, exhale fold. And if you have the legs extended out in front of you, you can continue to do this. Just feel the same, and that's okay. Inhale up, fingertips to the sky. Exhale, over toward the left. Inhale, fingertips up. Exhale, hands to the ground behind you, pressing the chest to the sky. Beautiful. Let's sit up nice and tall. We will find our way into our tabletop position. You can place a blanket or some sort of padding underneath your knees if your knees tend to be sore. If you don't have a blanket handy, you can fold your mat to create a little extra cushion there. We'll start to get some movement into the spine with our cat and cow posture. So as you inhale, allow the tailbone and the shoulders to come up. The gaze comes up. As you exhale, tuck the tailbone, rounding the back. Shoulders round forward, chin comes toward the chest if you like. Inhale as you open. Exhale as you round back. Inhale, opening up. Exhale, rounding back. Inhale, open. Exhale, round back. Pause in stillness. Shift the hands forward or the knees back, whatever works for you, to get into more of a modified plank. With your inhalation, you shift into your modified plank. Exhale, a little dip down. Inhale, press up. Exhale, sink back in toward child's pose. Inhale as you come forward. Exhale, a little dip. Inhale, press up. Exhale, back. 2 more rounds here. Last one here. Inhale back to your tabletop. Exhale, gaze comes between the hands. Inhale here. With an exhalation, let's start to bring those feet up between the hands. Find your way into your standing forward fold. Allow the fingertips or the palms to sink toward the ground. With an inhalation, we'll come to our half lift. Nice flat back. With an exhalation, sink forward. Inhaling to your half lift. Exhaling into your fold. 2 more times. Inhale, half lift. Full inhalation, come up. Full exhalation to find your way into that fold. Last one here. Inhale to your half lift, pause here. Exhale completely. With an inhalation, slowly draw yourself up. Fingertips come to the sky. Let's bring the palms together. As you exhale, lean to your right. Pulling those fingertips that opposite direction. Feet are nice and stable. Inhale up. Exhale, leaning to the left. Inhale up. Exhale, arms float down alongside the body. Get a little movement into the lower portion of the body. We'll begin with just some simple lifting and lowering of alternating heels. So you can let the feet come all the way to the ground before you lift the opposite side. That's going to keep you pretty stable. So if you're on uneven ground or you're not sure about the balance today, maybe this is what you do. If you'd like to challenge the balance a bit, then you can begin to lift the next heel before the first one comes down. More of a really kind of walking in place space, and you have that moment where both heels are off the ground. That helps you to challenge or work with the balance. One more round of breath here. So balance isn't just something that's important from a physical standpoint. Let's release. We want to have balance in our lives. Inhale, fingertips to the sky. Exhale, sink back into a chair pose. Weight comes toward the heels. Fingertips out in front, like you're getting ready to sit back in a chair. Inhale, come up. Exhale, sink back. 2 more times. Exhale, sink back. This helps to open up through the legs, through the back. Getting some movement into the hips and the knees. Exhale, sink back. 1 more time. Inhale up. Exhale into that chair pose. Hold. 1 more breath here. And with an exhalation, let's fold forward, straightening the legs, allowing the hands to dip down, fingertips finding the ground, the shins, the thighs, wherever your body wants to land. Coming into a rag doll. Let's grab opposite elbows or allow the fingertips to graze the ground, swaying gently from side to side. Let the breeze. Moving the blades of grass. One more breath here. With an inhalation, we'll come back to our half lift. This allows us to transition from folding forward to that upright position. Fingertips come to the sky with an inhale. Exhale, find your mountain pose. Hands can rest at the heart, or you can have the arms alongside the body. Palms forward is what we often see. Working with that stability and balance once again. Shift the weight into your left foot. Get some little rotations with that right ankle. If that's available to you. Anytime we're standing on one leg, we're challenging balance, right? Pause and stillness. Let's try and just sort of swirl from the knee down. A little knee circle. As if you were stirring a pot with the lower portion of the leg. Starting to engage the core a little bit more to help you hold yourself in a stable position. Pausing in stillness, and then let's make big circles. You can allow that leg to straighten, big hip circles. 1 more round here. Beautiful. Feet find their way side by side. Shift the weight into that right foot. Little ankle circles. About 3 breaths here. As many circles as you would like to make. Maybe that's none. Maybe you're just pointing and flexing the foot. Maybe you're just kind of lifting and lowering the toe, finding your balance. Pause. Then we'll switch to knee circles. As if you were stirring something from the knee down. Whatever it is that you might be stirring for a picnic or a party this weekend. Then we'll pause and then allow that circle to become much larger. Big hip circles. You can come in or work the opposite direction, whatever makes sense to you. 1 more breath here. And the feet find their way side by side. Lift and lower the heels or shake out the ankles. So we're going to work with some abdominal squeezes. That's going to help us get some opening through the low back. Works with some of the joints in the spine, but it also allows us to really engage through the core. So when we clench or squeeze, it's as if you're pulling energy from from the pelvic floor all the way up underneath the rib cage. So we want to engage kind of almost through the middle of the body all the way up. Allow the feet to come to whatever a comfortable stance is for you. We're going to be in a bit of a squat-like pose. So we'll begin to bend at the knees, be a shallow bend. We want to have the arms pretty straight for this. As you inhale, we just allow the abdomen to soften. And with an exhalation, you draw everything up and in. Inhale as you release. Exhale, drawing up and in. See if you can do that. This is the trick. Without clenching the glutes. When we clench the glutes, we're mostly working with the muscles in the legs. We want to feel that energy drawing up. As if it were sliding up the space in front of the spine. 3 more times. Exhale. From in front of the base of the tailbone, all the way up the space behind the center of the heart. Let's go ahead and come back up to stand. Find your mountain pose. Feet are side by side, fingertips to the sky with an inhalation, a few rounds of sun A to warm up the rest of the body. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale to your half lift. Exhale, fold, step back, planting the hands, high plank, or modified plank with the knees down. Through low plank or knees, chest, and chin to the ground. Ashtanga Namaskar, this is called. Inhale, draw yourself up into your little cobra. Exhale, tuck up and back, tabletop or downward facing dog. Let's hold here for 3 breaths. Notice if you have the weight shifted more forward or more back. Are you holding more in the hands, more in the feet, or are you pretty balanced? You want to be pretty balanced if possible. Let's just take 2 more breaths here, pedaling the feet if you'd like. If you already were, finding that space of stillness. With your next inhalation, allow your gaze to come up between your hands. As you exhale, step forward, float the feet forward into that forward fold. Inhale to your half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, slowly peel up, fingertips find the sky. Maybe we even get a little back bend. Exhale, find your mountain pose. Samasthiti here with hands at the heart or arms alongside the body. And mountain. 2 more times like that. Inhale up, fingertips to the sky. Exhale, engaging the muscles in the body. Nice and strong through these postures. Inhale to your half lift. Plant the hands, step back, whether we come to high plank or modified plank. Through low plank, chaturanga dandasana, or knees, chest, and chin to the ground, Ashtanga Namaskar. Pull yourself forward using the muscles in the core of the body into that cobra. Tucking the toes, rolling up and back into your downward facing dog. Allow that weight to settle, evenly placed between hands and feet. 1 more breath here. Inhale, gaze comes between the hands, and with an exhalation, again, you can step or float forward into your fold. Inhale to half lift. Exhale as you fold. Inhale, peel up, fingertips to the sky. Exhale, hands at the heart. Mountain pose. 1 more time. Inhale up. If we choose that little back bend, be mindful that we're keeping the hips above the knees above the ankles. So we're not shifting the body. We're not leaning or shifting the body back. We want that bend to come from the space right behind navel center. And then we engage through navel center to draw ourselves up and hinge forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the palms, stepping back. High plank or modified plank. Low plank or knees, chest, and chin to the ground. Inhale as you roll up into your little cobra, your king cobra, or your upward facing dog. Exhale as you roll back, downward facing dog. 3 more breaths here. 2 more. Last one right here. Inhale, gaze comes forward. Exhale, walk or float the feet forward. Coming into your mouth, into your forward fold. Inhale into your half lift. Exhale back into that fold. As you inhale, slowly roll up. Fingertips feel to the sky. Exhale, hands alongside the body in that mountain pose. Find your hands, find the space at heart center, excuse me. We'll have Anjali Mudra, prayer hands, fingers all pulled together, pressing the thumbs toward the heart center. Inhale here, and as you exhale, allow the weight to shift toward the heels as you bend, kind of keeping that connection to the heart, bending at the knees into your chair pose. You can stay right here if you would like, or allow the fingertips to come out in front. With an exhalation, we'll fold forward. With an inhalation, come to your half lift. With an exhalation, step back, high plank, to low plank, or knees, chest, and chin to the ground. Give yourself the option of that modification. We'll be doing a fair amount of this today. Exhale into your tabletop or your downward facing dog. And with your next inhalation, we'll have you bring your right knee forward, allowing it to plant on the ground between the hands. Little gaze up in our low lunge. So if you're used to this practice, you may have already come into your warrior. See if you can come down into that low lunge. You want to keep that left heel off of the mat. See if you can peel up into the crescent lunge. Breaking with tradition a little bit here. One more breath. Inhale up, hands at heart center. And allow that heel to roll down to the ground. Notice the warrior stance. So that right knee bends, it can bend a little, it can bend a lot. We just want to keep the knee behind the toes. The left leg is long. Toes are kind of maybe a 45-degree angle. They might point more toward the side of the mat. The shoulders and the hips track toward the top of the mat. Now you allow the fingertips to grow. So even if the fingertips don't grow to the sky, we're still in our mountain pose, or our warrior pose. And our stance in the middle of the body is the mountain pose. Nice and strong. Navel center ever so slightly toward the spine, shoulders soft away from the ears. One more breath here. With your next inhalation, you'll open up into your warrior two. So I'm going to switch legs so that I'm going the same direction as you. So from that warrior one, you may need to pivot that back foot a little bit so that we can bring the arms toward opposite sides of the room. Gaze comes over the front fingers. 2 more breaths. Last one here. Inhale, exalted warrior. Allow that left hand to come down the back of the left leg, the right fingertips come up and over. If that right leg is screaming at you, maybe you start to straighten that right knee a little bit. 2 more breaths. Shoulders soft away from the ears, but those fingers are really growing toward the sky. Inhale, come back through your warrior two. We're going to pivot onto those left toes. Find your crescent lunge again. 1 more breath. With an exhalation, we will fold forward, frame the foot with the hands. Stepping back, high plank or modified plank, through low plank or knees, chest, and chin to the ground. Inhale as you pull yourself up into your cobra. So low cobra. King cobra is at the knees, not that we don't have the pelvis at the ground. We're not arching through the low back. Upward facing dog, just the tops of the feet and the palms of the ground. Where is your body today? Exhale. Forward or into your downward facing dog. 2 more breaths here. Last full breath right here. With your next inhalation, let your left toes come toward the sky. With an exhalation, the knee comes into the chest, shifting the weight forward, allow that foot to plant between the hands. Keeping those right toes at the ground, the heel up, rolling up into your lunge. So let's begin with just the traditional lunge. We don't need to do the back bend. And then if it works in your body, maybe we start to hinge back. So as you hinge back, aside from challenging the balance, you may notice more stretch through the quadricep and the hip flexor. 1 more breath. Inhale, come up. So allow the hands to come alongside the body or to heart center. Roll that right heel down. Find that growth, that length in the spine. So we allow the crown of the head to grow to the sky as the tailbone grows toward the ground. We're nice and straight. Navel center drawing toward the spine. Shoulders softening away from the ears. Now, keeping all of that where it is, allow those fingertips to grow up. The gaze might come up, maybe not. Pinkies up may pull toward the center of the room. Gaze coming up, or maybe the hands stay more side, palms facing each other. With your next inhalation, slowly open into your warrior 2. So be mindful, you may need to change the positioning of those toes on that back leg. So now the hips and the shoulders face alongside of that. Gazing over those front fingers. 1 more breath here. With your next inhalation, let's come into our exalted warrior. Maybe the gaze comes down toward the ground behind you. Maybe the gaze comes up to the fingertips. If that front leg is screaming at you, you can straighten it or maintain the bend in the knee. Honoring the body where it is today, where it's sitting right now. 1 more breath here. Inhale, come back through your warrior 2. Just allow the hands to come down, roll onto those right toes again, if that works in your body, fingertips to the sky, and maybe we come into our crescent lunge, maybe not. Inhale as you draw yourself back up, taking that control as you exhale, hands come down. Framing that front foot, stepping back into your high plank or your modified plank. Then into your low plank or your knees, chest and chin to the ground. You take your little cobra, your king cobra, or your upward facing dog. Up and back into downward facing dog. Heels melting toward the ground, 2 more breaths. In tabletop, maybe we can sink into a child's pose for this last breath. With your next inhalation, allow the gaze to find its way between the hands. The exhale brings the feet up between the gaze. Folding. Half lift with an inhale. With an exhale, fold again. And with an inhale, slowly peel up, fingertips find the sky. Exhale, hands at the heart. Samsitihi. 1 more round of breath here. We're going to work with the balance once again. So we'll work with those warriors, but we're going to try and migrate from our warriors into our warrior 3, Virabhadrasana 3, or standing warrior, flying warrior, excuse me. So in that one, we're working with the balance, and we'll work into it a little bit. Just being kind of aware if you have stuff around you that you might need to move, starting to think about where the gaze point, the focal point might end up. So let's allow the weight to shift back into your right leg. With the hands at the heart, lift up onto those left toes. We'll take a big step back with the left, trying to keep the heel off of the ground in that lunge. Now, if that doesn't work in the body, you can certainly have your foot at the ground, warrior 1 style. You can also do this with the knee down if you're coming from maybe a tabletop, or that simply doesn't work. So you can do all of these, warrior 1, warrior 2, warrior 3, from the ground, if that is where the body is today. One more round of breath in your lunge. And then we'll come up, allowing that heel to find the ground, that left heel. Noticing the difference between those two poses. With your next inhalation, heel open into your warrior 2. Hips face the long side of the mat. Fingers draw away from each other, shoulders are soft away from the ears. Inhale, opening up into that exalted warrior. Creates a little side bend if we really bend back in that exalted warrior. As you inhale, allow the fingertips to come toward opposite sides of the room. We're going to shift back into our lunge, hands to the heart. Weight shifts toward that right leg, start to lift the left leg off of the ground. Balancing. Or not. So it's important to have a drishti, a focus. One more breath here. With your exhalation, feet find their way side by side. Land it. Then sink into your forward fold. Inhaling to half lift. Exhale back into that fold. And as you inhale, slowly roll up. Fingertips find the sky. Exhale, hands find the heart in your mountain pose. Same thing again, opposite leg. So we'll shift the weight into your left leg this time. Allow the right leg to come back as we bend into that left knee. So those right toes, again, kind of stay at the ground. Heel comes up, or you can come into your warrior stance, fingertips to the sky. And then yogi's choice. Maybe we lean back in the crescent lunge, maybe not. One more breath here. Inhale, fingertips come to the sky. If you're in that lunge, we allow that heel to come down. So you can kind of see my back foot, just allow it to sort of drop down so you're nice and stable. And we're not bending back now. Warrior 1. One more breath. With your next inhalation, we'll pivot open. Fingertips draw toward opposite sides of the room. Gaze comes over the front hand. One more breath. With an inhale, we'll find our exalted warrior. So that right hand comes down the back of your right leg, left arm comes up and over. You can gaze up at the fingertips. You can keep your neck neutral. You can gaze down at that right heel. One more breath here. Inhale as you open up. Find that warrior 2. Let's find our lunge, hands at the heart. You can come to more of a warrior 2, warrior 1 stance. It's better for you to have the foot down. Find your focal point, your gaze point at the ground in front of you. Begin to shift forward, allowing that right leg to come off of the mat, balancing on the left. And if that doesn't work, maybe the toe stays down toward the ground, or even the big toe on the right foot touches the ground. Just try and challenge the balance of it. Try and challenge your perspective. One more breath right here. And as you exhale, allow the feet to come side by side, sink into your forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, peel those fingertips up to the sky. Exhale, hands find the heart. Reset your mountain. The feet are firmly planted at the ground, but not pressing into the ground. Softness. Little softness behind the knees. There's a little slight internal rotation of the thighs toward each other. That allows the sit bones to kind of open up. It gives us a more stable space in the low back. Navel center draws toward the spine. The shoulders are soft away from the ears. Crown of the head grows towards the sky. Allow your weight to shift into that right leg. Big step back with the left, and this time we'll turn to face the long side of the mat. Maybe point the toes toward opposite sides of the room. Arms out to the sides in that star shape. Exhale, bending at the knees as you shift. You want the weight to shift toward the heels a bit, and then bend at the knees as if you were sliding down the wall, bending at the elbows. Devyasana, goddess pose. Inhale, open, straighten. Fingertips come toward opposite sides of the room. Exhale. Sink. Inhale. Straighten. Exhale, sink. Inhale, straighten. Last one. With movement, let's sink into that Devyasana once again. Hold in here. One more breath here. Allow the hands to float down alongside the body. If you're able to maintain the squat, go ahead and do so. Gently swaying side to side. Be mindful. If it feels like you're a little too far, if it feels like it's time to stop, it probably is. One more breath here. So always give yourself the option of or not. Or not is always a modification available to you. Pausing in stillness, arms out to the side, bend at the elbows, warrior goddesses. Once again, straighten the legs. Pivot your right toes toward the top of the mat. Fingertips draw toward opposite sides of the room. Reaching for the wall in front of you, as if you can reach and reach and reach and reach and reach, and you can reach no more. Allow that hand to come to the ground, inside or outside the right foot. Left fingertips at the sky, the hip or the low back. Maybe the palm is at the ground, maybe the fingertips are at the ground. Maybe you're using a blanket or a block or the top of your foot. The hand. One more breath right here. With an inhalation, slowly come up. Hands find the heart. Rolling into that lunge or warrior stance. The front leg can bend or stay straight, whatever works for you. We'll find our way back into that balance. Straightening the right leg, left toes come off the ground. 2 more breaths. Last one here. And allow the feet to come side by side, find your fold. And this time, if it's available to you, maybe you catch the index and middle fingers around the big toes. Bending the elbows, crown of the head tracking toward the ground. 2 more breaths here. Last one right here. Inhale, release the fingers, come to your half lift. Exhale here. Inhale, slowly peel up. Fingertips find the sky. Exhale, hands find the heart in your mountain pose. Let's shift the weight over to the left leg. With a big inhalation, let's step back, turning so that we're facing the long side of the mat once again. Arms come out to the sides, drawing the fingers in opposite directions. Maybe the toes point toward opposite corners of the mat. With an exhalation, shift the weight back, bending at the knees, bending at the elbows, sinking into that Devyasana. Inhale as you straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Arms come to opposite sides of the room. Exhale, sink. Inhale, open. Last one here. Exhale with the movement. Inhale, open. Remember, we did this once before, so if your body is saying no more, allow yourself to stay in the wide stance, the star, or hold 2 more breaths in Goddess Devyasana. 1 more breath here. Inhale as you straighten. Bring the hands to heart. Allow those left toes to pivot toward the top of the mat and then roll. I'm sorry, nope. Don't listen to me, I lie. Leave that right leg at the ground. We'll bring the arms out, opposite sides of the room. Reach for the wall in front of you. Continue reaching and reaching and reaching. When you can reach no more, allow that hand to come to the ground, finding your triangle, your Trikonasana. The right hand can come to the sky, it can come to the hip, it can come to the low back. 2 more breaths here. Last one right here. Inhale, slowly peel up. Now we bring the hands to the heart. Rolling that back foot into either warrior or lunge stance. And then find your flying warrior, Virabhadrasana 3. Standing on the left leg, right toes back. Right toes might be hovering near or at the ground. 2 more breaths here. Last one right here. And allow the feet to come side by side, sink into your forward fold. Come into a nice half lift. You can leave the feet where they are, allow them to widen a little bit. With your next exhalation, we are going to find our way into our gorilla pose. So the hands come underneath the feet. Maybe it's just the fingertips, maybe it's the entire hand. If the entire hand is underneath the feet, you can start to shift the weight toward the toes, allowing for a deeper stretch through the arms, if that's available to you, if that works in your body. 2 more breaths here. With your next inhalation, one hand comes out from underneath the foot. Exhale. Inhale again, one hand releases. Exhale here. Inhale, half lift. Exhale. Inhale, come all the way up, fingertips to the sky. Palms together or interlace the fingers. Drawing the hands up. Nice big stretch. Exhale, leaning to the right. Inhale, fingertips to the sky. Exhale, lean to your left. Your next inhalation, fingertips find the sky. And as you exhale, bring the hands down to heart center. Allow the feet to separate a little bit more. Working with our breath of joy. Back a little bit. Allow yourself to draw in some joy, some positivity, some happiness. We'll begin with the arms alongside the body. So for breath of joy, we are actually using a 3-part inhalation. So be mindful that you're not overextending the lungs on that first intake of breath. And if you haven't done this before, the first few times I did it, it took a little while to sink the breath correctly. So we'll inhale with 3 arm movements up, and then as we exhale, one big forceful exhale, but with control, we'll fold down. So we inhale, arms in front, side, overhead, exhale, fold. Inhale, 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 inhale. 3 more. Last one. Inhale up, nice and easy, hands at heart center, pause and stillness. Just allow yourself to sway gently from side to side. One more breath here. Pausing. You would like to turn the toes for opposite sides of the mat. You can. We're going to come into a forward fold with some twists, so you decide what's more stable for you. Inhale, fingertips come up to the sky. As you exhale, hinge at the hips. Folding forward. Allow the right hand or right fingertips to rest at the ground, a block, a bolster, a blanket, anything you may have. Left fingertips find the sky. 3 more breaths. 2 more. Last one right here. Exhale, left hand comes down. Now remember, if the hand doesn't want to find the sky, we always have the option of bringing that hand to the hip for the low back. Palm or fingertips to the ground. On the left side, right hand finds the sky or a modification. 3 more breaths here. With your next exhalation, slowly fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, back into your fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale here. Inhale, slowly come up. Fingertips to the sky. With an exhalation, we're going to turn from the hips, not the waist, over that extended right leg. Fold forward. 2 more breaths here. As you inhale, slowly peel up. Kind of coming up from the side, fingertips to the sky. And with your exhalation, again, we don't want to shift the hips. Try and keep those nice and stable. Turning from the waist as you fold forward over the left leg. 2 more breaths here. Beginning to wind down a little bit. Inhale as you slowly peel up. 2 more times on each side. Exhale, turn and fold over the right side. One more breath here. Inhale, slowly peel up. Fingertips find the sky. Exhale, folding over the left side. 3 breaths. With your next inhalation, slowly come up. Those fingertips find the sky. With an exhale, turn, folding over that right leg. 2 breaths this time. Inhale, slowly draw yourself up. Fingertips find the sky. Exhale, folding over the left. 2 breaths. Inhale up. Hands at the heart. Samsitihi. Inhale fully. With an exhalation, find that chair pose. Wide stance chair. It's really more of a squat. Maybe the elbows come inside the thighs or the knees. Maybe the sit bones sink down toward the ground. Allow the fingertips or the palms to find the ground. A little straighten into your fold. And we'll come into our tabletop, stepping back. Find your table, and we will be here for a few minutes, so if you would like to pad the knees, holding your mat or placing a blanket underneath the knees, go ahead and do so at this time. Let's take the right leg straight back. Allow the toes to draw across the body so that we can rest those right toes on the ground on the left side. Your gaze might come over that left shoulder or not. Bring that stretch through the outside of the hip, through the waist, outside of that leg. One more breath right here. Inhale as you come back through center, reset your table. Let's allow the left leg to come straight back this time. Toes point toward the wall behind you. Inhale here, and with an exhalation, draw those toes across so that they rest on the ground. On the right side of the mat. I don't know if you can see my foot or not. With my mat angle, the way that it is. And again, you can turn your gaze back over that shoulder or not. Two more rounds of breath right here. With your next inhalation, we'll slowly unwind. Reset your table. Let's take a moment to sink back into a child's pose. So allow the knees to separate toward opposite sides of the mat if that's more accessible to you. Or you can fold over your back knees. Sinking chest, forehead toward the mat. Maybe you stack the arms, maybe not. With your next inhalation, come up. Nice little half lift. Exhale as you walk the hands over toward the right side of your mat, sinking over, sinking into that side winding child's pose. With your next inhalation, lift, walking through center. Pause here, just a quick exhalation. Inhale fully, and with an exhale, walk your hands over to your left. Sinking into that side, winding child's pose towards your left. So we're looking at allowing the stretch to come up to the upper portion of the side here, where when we were in the, when we were working with drawing the legs across, that was our hip opener. One more breath here. Inhale as you lift. Coming back to center. Exhale, sink back into your child's pose if that's available to you. So knowing that when we get into spaces where we have a lot of nerves in the body, or a lot of where we tend to hold our tension, you may find emotions bubbling to the surface as you stretch in those spaces. So the hips are commonly known for holding, kind of storing old emotions. So you might find memories popping up and some emotions associated with those memories. The shoulders are more the current stuff. These are our current stresses. So if something that's happening now or something that you need to do later today crops up, just be aware that that may be why, but also see if you can begin to release those things, sending them into that storage space. It's one of the reasons that we created that at the beginning of the class. As things bubble to the surface, don't allow them to interfere with your practice. Place them in the storage space. Let's go ahead and come out of our child's pose into our tabletop. And hopefully that's something that you can carry off of the mat with you, allowing yourself to deal with things as they need to be dealt with. We can't always send those things off to storage, but not allowing those emotions, those memories to interfere with our lives. So we'll come into, if it works in your body, we'll work with a couple little camel poses, little back bends. I tend to tuck my toes for this, and that's what you'll see most often. But you can have the tops of the feet at the ground. So we're going to reach back for the heels. They don't have to touch. You can also have the hands at the low back. We're going to do alternating one side at a time, but you can do alternating with the hand coming to the low back or alternating with the hand coming back toward the heel. So let's go ahead and bring the fingertips to the sky. And as you exhale, allow the arm to open out to the left side. That right hand comes up, stays up overhead. So whether you touch the heel or the low back is fine, doesn't matter. Inhale as you come up. Exhale. We're looking to bend back to get to that, not to twist. So try to keep yourself, the spine pretty neutral, other than it comes straight. And then we kind of lean back from the waist, reaching back for that heel. Inhale up. Exhale back. Inhale as you come up. Exhale as you come back. Remember, back to the hip is fine. One more time on each side. Inhale as you straighten the spine. Exhale into your back bend. The hand comes down toward the heel over the low back. Inhale up. Exhale, last half camel. Inhale up. With an exhalation, reset your table. And we are going to find our way onto our backs, beginning to wind down the practice, coming toward our space of rest. So make sure that you have anything nearby that you'll need for rest. So you don't have to come back up and down. So you want to have a blanket underneath the head, underneath the knees, your bolster that you use. You want to be covered with a blanket, anything at all. Just make sure it's readily available. So from here, let's just allow the feet to be about hips width distance apart. So they're pretty much lined up with the sit bones. We don't want the feet touching each other, knees kind of pressing together, or feet touching each other with the knees dropping to opposite sides. And we also aren't looking to walk the feet all the way out to opposite sides of the mat where the knees feel like they're kind of rocking in. You want to have the feet pretty much hips width distance apart. And then as we press up into our bridge poses, you'll start to kind of draw the knees toward each other a little bit so they don't. We have a lot of times we have a tendency to splay open just because the muscles on the outside of the legs are often kind of tight. But to begin, before we do that, let's do a few little pelvic tilts. So when I draw the tailbone up, just kind of flattening out that curve in the lumbar spine area, and then release. Rolling up, and then release. So see if you can do this without clenching or tensing through the glutes and the legs. You are going to use some muscles there to facilitate the movement, but we're not trying to like really tense up. We just want to get a little loosening, a little movement, a little opening in those vertebrae in that space. Tends to get tight. One more round of breath here. And now from here, we'll leave the feet pressed into the ground. We start by coming into that little pelvic tilt and then press the feet into the ground. Knees point toward the opposite side of the room as we roll up toward the shoulders or to the shoulders. Holding your bridge if you can. Notice if you're clenching the glutes. That might mean you're just sort of pressing up that way, and that could create some tension in the back. You're going to need some strength from the glutes and the legs, but soften them a little bit. Engaging a little bit. 2 more breaths here. Last full breath right here. Exhale, slowly roll down. 1 vertebra at a time. Pause in stillness. With your next inhalation, let's slowly roll up into that bridge. And this time roll right back down. Let's get a few moving bridges. If it's not working in your knees, your legs, your ankles, anything at all, don't worry about it. Don't do that. 1 more round here. Pausing in stillness at the ground. Let's walk the feet out toward opposite sides of the mat and allow the knees to sway gently from side to side. We're allowing the feet to roll toward the inside and outside edges. Trying to keep the sacrum pretty close to the ground or at the ground. It's that pelvic bone. So you'll notice that stretch. Again, outer portion of the thighs, hips, maybe into the waist, the low back. You may even notice a little bit of it in the hip flexor and the quadricep space. 1 more breath here. Pause in stillness. Let's allow the arms to come to the ground. Arms extend, palms up, and we're going to move the arms a little bit so we can check in, experiment a bit with the shoulders. Just draw the fingers, continue to draw away from you as you pull the arms to the sides, and then bring them up overhead, and then come back down. Or as close to overhead as your body will allow. This is where you may find that you don't come overhead. Try to allow the palms to face down, bringing the arms out to the sides and up. We're not straining, we're not forcing, just notice whether it stops in a different spot. So many times, one direction or the other, there's some strain, some tension, there's something going on in the body. Or we're simply anatomically built to prohibit. Bringing the arms overhead with the palms down or with the palms up. Inhale, flip the palms, come on up overhead. Exhale, arms come back down alongside the body. Let's allow the palms to face down, out to the sides, up overhead, or as close to as your body will allow. And then alongside. We'll walk the feet a little closer together. Let's draw the knees in toward the chest with an exhalation. Inhale here as you exhale, supine twist toward the right. So we allow the knees to drop over to the right. You're stacking the hips on top of each other. The shoulders track toward the ground, arms come out into a T, into a cactus, maybe they rest alongside the body. Maybe the shoulders aren't at the ground, maybe you're up a little bit, but we want to kind of think about drawing that shoulder down. So we're not looking to just rest on the side, we want that twist through the middle of the body. Twists are great for the digestive system, so this is a great thing to do before and or after we've had some of the often excesses of our holiday celebrations. Whether it's a picnic or a holiday like Memorial Day or 4th of July, or a meal prepared for something like Easter, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. You can twist from a standing position like we did. You can twist supine here. You can do these from a seated position. We can incorporate other stretches with them, the positioning of the legs. Notice if it works for you to have the knees stacked on top of each other. If not, maybe you take that top leg and allow the foot or the big toe to rest on the ground in front of the quadricep on the bottom leg. So probably your right leg is at the ground, left foot can come up and over. Your gaze can come over either shoulder. You can keep your gaze at the sky. Just take about 3 more breaths here. With your next inhalation, we'll slowly unwind, rolling back onto our backs. Pause in stillness for a moment, just noticing the differences between the left and the right sides of the body. With an exhalation, allow the knees to draw in toward the chest. This helps us to kind of reset. So if we were shifted off to one side a little bit, we'll naturally come back to a space of neutrality when we bring those knees in. And with an exhalation, roll towards your left. So we come toward the left hip. Right shoulder tracks toward the ground, giving that twist through the middle of the body. You can keep the knees kind of stacked like this. If it's really uncomfortable, you can change right now. Otherwise, give yourself a moment or two just to try and settle into this space. See what happens in the body when you try and stay here. With your next round of breath, we'll bring the right foot or the right big toe to the ground in front of the left thigh and left quadricep. Maybe this is what doesn't work in your body and you return to the original position. But notice the difference between these two options and how it feels in the body. How it feels in the emotions. Hips carry emotions. That's where our sacral chakra is. That's where those come from. So notice if one position or the other allows you to release a little more. With your next inhalation, we'll slowly roll up, finding your way back onto your back. And then set up in your resting space. We won't be there for a terribly long time, but we do want to take a little bit of time for rest. So give yourself an opportunity to support the body and rest. Maybe place a blanket behind the head or behind the hips or knees. You may have a bolster that you place behind your knees. You may want to simply cover with a blanket or place an eye pillow over your eyes. See if you can begin to release any of the tensions or holds in the body, knowing that the ground, the earth, is there to support you. Let the ground hold you. Start to connect to other sounds, other sensations, other thoughts, other feelings, other energies that are presenting themselves. Are you able to find a sense of connection, a oneness between yourself and the universe? Between yourself and the energy of those past, honoring them with this energy that you built through the movement of this practice. Allow yourself to soften and settle any amount more. Begin to follow the path of energy in the body. So we'll begin by drawing awareness to the crown of the head. Breathing as if you could draw air in through the top of the head, send it out with the tips of the fingers. Clearing away any stale, stagnant stuff, energy that you find along the way. Your next several breaths, continuing to breathe as if through the crown of the head, send that air out as if through the tips of the toes, getting rid of any stale energy that you find now through the rest of the body. Now breathing as if the entire body were breathing, as if you could bring air in through the top of the head, sending it out through the fingers and the toes. Settling a little more with each breath. Beginning to release the spaces in the body that are mentioned, the mind releasing and resting. Your right toes, right foot, right ankle, right leg from ankle to knee, right knee, right leg from knee to hip, glutes on the right, right hip, low back, low abdomen, pelvic center, left hip, left leg from hip to knee, left knee, left leg from knee to ankle, left ankle, left foot, and left toes. Inhaling awareness back to pelvic center. To exhale, soften the center of the abdomen, sides of the waist, the middle of your back, your upper back, right side of the chest and rib cage, left side of the chest and rib cage. Soften right shoulder, arm from shoulder to elbow, right elbow, arm from elbow to wrist, right wrist, right hand and right fingers. Bringing awareness back to heart center. As you exhale again, soften the left shoulder, left arm from the shoulder to the elbow, elbow and spaces surrounding the elbow, arm from the elbow to the wrist, wrist, left hand and the fingers on the left side. Inhale, bring the awareness to the throat center, softening the neck and throat. Release the chin, muscles around the mouth, cheeks, jaw, spaces that surround the ears, temples, all of the muscles around your eyes, sides of your nose, bridge of your nose, space between the eyes, space between the brows, the eyebrows, forehead, crown of your head. Allow the back of the head to soften, sinking back against your mat or your blankets. Big breath in, so filling the body with air. Exhale, sending that air out through the fingers and toes. Allow yourself to drift into a space of stillness and reflection for a few more moments. Begin to deepen your breath. Starting to ease that awareness back. Noticing the support coming from the ground beneath you. Noticing the temperature in the room. Noticing that sensation of the temperature finding your skin as the air we're touching. Find the tips of the fingers and the tips of the toes. Maybe begin to get some gentle movement into these spaces, wiggling fingers and toes. Maybe get movement into your wrists and ankles. You may wish to rock the head from side to side. Maybe bring the soles of the feet to the ground, allowing knees to sway gently from side to side. When you are ready, knowing that there's absolutely no rush, allow yourself to find your way to one side of the body. Pause in stillness, resting on your side for a moment. And press that top hand into the ground, slowly easing your way back up to your seat. Shoulders soften away from the ears. Finding your stable seat. Maybe the legs are extended, maybe crossed, maybe one of each. Bring your awareness back to that intention that you set at the beginning of class. Notice if it still resonates with you. Does it need to be changed? Did the practice shift your perspective? Let's allow the palms to come up. Preparing to receive whatever intention you're carrying off of the mat with you, whether it's the one you began with or something that has changed or something completely different. With your next inhalation, begin to draw the energy of the intention to you as you bring the hands to heart center. As you exhale, clear your path, pressing the palms in front of you. Allow the arms to sweep out to the sides 2 more times here. Inhale, hands to heart center. Exhale, clearing your path with an exhalation. Last one, inhale, hands find their way into the heart. Exhale as you clear that path. Allow the fingertips to float down to the ground. And bring the hands up overhead, fingertips finding the sky, palms together. Stay the hands down the center line of your body. Allow the fingertips to float to the ground 2 more times. Inhale, hands up. Palms together. Exhale, hands slide down the center line of the body. 1 more round here. Pausing with the hands at heart center. Let's close our practice with the sound of Om. You are welcome to join me, or you can rest in stillness. I'll end you on preparation. Thank you so much for sharing this practice with me today, for offering your time and your energy. May you be happy, healthy, and secure. Have inner peace, freedom, and love. We seal our practice with a gentle forward fold. Om Shanti Om. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for supporting this fundraiser to raise funds for Valor retreats. Look forward to practicing with you again very soon.